Welcome gamers, I'm Mad Mac, part of OldCrewGaming, and today we jump back into Satisfactory. It's been 5 years since this game was available to the public, and I felt it was time to give it another look, and see what it's changed. Please remember to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's a small click for you, but makes all the difference for us. We're aiming to hit 500 subs this year, and we can only do that with your help and feedback. So with that, let's dive back in. So, much farming, much decisions were made. The first decision was to move the main area that I do a lot of my construction up to this area here for now, mostly because I'd removed the stuff that was down there, and so I have now achieved 11 working 11 working coal factories, now color coordinated to go along with, as well as an orange, which I've been using to make compressed coal. And I will also eventually put down a split down in this area as well to make the gunpowder, to eventually make smokeless gunpowder. I achieved this by bringing in another coal vein. So a M2 maxed out can easily feed 6 coal factories. This coal factory is powering the majority of these water pumps, which then get the rest of these going. Last episode I showed that I'd gotten that, which means everything is now running the way it's supposed to. Which brings us over to the actual producing of fuel for the power stations. Now we've got 5 power stations. Almost all of these containers are full. I've not turned these on yet. Each station is connected to 3 batteries, so it keeps a constant charge. Those are then all connected to each other, which will send it on its way. What's great about this is all these, except for the pink, bring the materials that they create up here, gets dumped into the awesome sink. Not only am I constantly producing energy for the power stations, but I'm racking up the coupons, which in turn has allowed me to unlock many more of the new foundations, as well as some of the architecture. Now what I've done with the pink is once the compressed coal is made, it is transported over here. This makes our wonderful containers for the use. Compressed coal is here with the fuel. Gives us rocket fuel, which then stores nicely into here. Now sadly, I don't know if it's a glitch or a problem or just the way they've coded it, but rocket fuel is basically useless. I tried it out with the jetpack. It works just the same as the regular fuel. You don't get to fly for longer. It lasts longer, but not in its use. Like overall number of times you can use it increases. So other than powering drones and the cars and the stuff like that, this is not worth your time. There was a lot of effort to get this going. So as it stands right now, like, these are all full, or pretty darn close to. So we are almost ready to turn on the power. Now I will show you what we're doing next in the way of power. Because now that we have it, we've got to use it. And oh boy, did I bite off more than I can chew with my plan of how I'm going to use this power. So these episodes will definitely not be a twice a week thing, possibly once every 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes me to get stuff built and farmed, because it is a long process. And I work a full-time job elsewhere. That's the thing. You know, I got to work 35, 40 hours a week on my regular job. So I do love making these videos for you guys, but it's time consuming, especially a game like this at this point where I have to do so much prep. To make it at least interesting for you guys to see what I've done. So power is now up to here as far as I've gotten power wise. I've also realized that aluminum is going to be a pain in the ass. It needs to go through 3 processes before it can be even used for anything useful. Involving water in one process and then copper in another. Copper! Like honestly, like I got one right here. The water I do not think is deep enough to be able to put it. Might be deep enough over there so I can get the water source. But where the hell am I supposed to get copper from? Like, in this area. Show me copper. Right? Right? Nothing. Over here. Over there. Nowhere near what I need to be. So this will be one of those things where I will be pulling copper in and bringing it up over here to basically be manufactured into usefulness. So frustration. And it just all the benzene, all of these. Like, there's none near copper. None. Like it is something that needs to be completely imported into the area, or I've got to get the benzene out of this area. But again, it's got to be mixed with water to get the first level. It's just messy. And of course, I need aluminum to do any of the other upgrades. Now, I do want you guys to comment down below, because I need your opinion on something. I started just kind of see what it would look like to do the 3 levels of glass over here. I think that looks alright. This, I feel, does not, though. So I gotta find a better way of doing a roof. One of the things that they have is a glass ceiling roof, which, if I can make this all glass. And those areas that I built with cross beams, I'm going to just change out to straight up glass, rather than having the little bit extras. Now, eventually, the idea, so I've been keeping this area here with the manufacture of my fuel pods, logs, biofuel logs. It's really too bad that, I've got sulfur here, but everything I need to mix with sulfur, nowhere near it. So ultimately, the plan is to power this. Now, initially, I was not going to go this direction. I was just going to try and have little itty-bitty building areas, building up their materials, and have it all trucked in to this area here. That is not realistic. What is realistic is me building a giant factory here to deal with the resources in this area, then building a highway over to here, and truck having it bring the stuff over, either by truck or by massive uh, elevators. Now I find the massive elevators are annoying. I don't mind them spidering off like that to areas that I'm not going to use. As you can see, I've finally logged in all of those. Those were brand new iron nodes that I never got into. As you can see, I've got a lot of work left to go with this. So each of these is a double stacked extra large container that each treadmill is feeding into a 3 of them. So each of those areas have 6 per treadmill that's feeding it. That's going to be iron, 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 iron. Oh, and guess what? It's more iron. Yeah, a lot of iron. Same deal here, doing with these cable. And this has been coal. I have removed some of the factories that were over here. Nothing that I didn't have a duplicate already of. And then I have it on this side. The question is going to become for, am I going to do a layer below feeding upwards? Because as you can see on the map, I've only taken care of that and that, and that's my left side. I still have this, these guys, all this, this, all this. That needs to come over to this area here. You have fed into here, not to mention this. Part of me wants to do a secondary one at the top of the hill, bring all these resources up to here and have a secondary one, because there's only thing I'm missing from here specifically is the it's the coal. And just to be 100% sure, there's no other coal, secret coal mines kicking around here. Yeah, that one I know about. That one I know about. And then a bunch over here. That's a long ways to pull coal though. But I don't know. Like I said, it takes a lot of time to be able to pull. And that may not be coal. Starting to think that that actually might be right, there's a whole bunch of coal there with these iron nodes. I might have been right of having the one thing here, 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 and then this area to deal with all that. So it might be 3 factories just to get everything up to the top where the space elevator is. So that is the long-term plan. I have slowly started transitioning things away from this area. Actually, while I'm here, seeing how it's a late game item, it is already refined. I like to take a couple of these. Back to turn into some currency. Yeah, it's a nice little side hustle. See, the point of these is so that it feeds one direction one way and then the other direction the other, and no matter what, it'll fill up both of them, and it will feed to both of them. So once I start pulling stuff from here, yeah, should be good. And then ultimately, hopefully, these guys will pull into there as well. It's a massive area, and it's still not enough storage. At least not for the way I plan to collect the resources. So that may be multi-storied in the end. I've cleared most of these areas out of anything of use. Oh, good, that's powered. Yeah, see, 3 coins. So yeah, that's where things stand at the moment. Now that the power levels have finally hit the point where it's self-replicating, we'll see how much of this we can power. Because not only do I have to power that, but I have to power all the individual drill sites around that area, which isn't bad. So the plan is to use the large towers to get the great distances and then jump from the towers. I just may have to sit down, do a little bit of math, see how much I will actually be producing, because all 5 of those are overclocked. And say they show only 150, where I'm pretty sure it goes up to 2 to 350. 250 or 350, one of the two. Regardless, it's or is it 550 when it was clocked? I will have to check. This tunnel system of traveling, not so wonderful. I will also have to be doing some fixing of that. Ultimately, I hope that this produces enough power to get what I need for this area, those 3 factories, and then this upper area, which I think over time is going to have to expand, because this upper area is now significantly smaller in comparison to that. Now, the majority of the resources that come up here will already be refined, thankfully, but I believe that this area is a little small, so again, part of it will have to be clearing out these trees so I can expand further. Deciding what I'm going to do about some of these pods that you just can't take down. So hopefully in an update they make it so that everything other than rock is destroyable, because these pods, they're in my way. They're in the way of my building, and they're not fun. They are not making good friends. I did have a wild and crazy idea for this, just to kind of make it a little more fun, is once I enclose it with 3 levels, turn it into kind of like that, an excite bike type, with ramps and jumps and bumps and all the way through. Just a thought. So as far as I can tell, the rocket fuel is just as useful as the fuel. We'll see if it is actually required for any of the upcoming phase builds. It might be. That could be why it's needed to be produced, but ultimately, if you're not interested in the phase 4 stuff, that's a lot of fuel, guys. I Hope this will work out the way I was expecting. So, in theory, $375 is my capacity. So we do some quick math in our heads. 375 times 5. It's 1,875, I think. Yeah. Okay, that's not bad. And then storage. Production wise, it's 75, 30, 10, 55. That's the highest so far. $40 and 55 are your biggest ones. All right, that is that will be enough to run all of those for sure. It is going to not be enough to run the upper area. It will be enough to run everything that involves this, 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 this. But the manufacturer, which is one of those top things I'm going to have to put up top, as well as the blender, 75. So I am going to have to build that secondary power plant just to power these things, because these things are going to cause a lot of problems. So we will have to see. I really don't want to go the nuclear route. I know nuclear will get me a real big bump in energy, but again, I'm worried about toxic waste, how to deal with it. There was a point in my game where I just literally was dumping things of toxic waste over the edge of the cliff to like just get rid of it. It was very sad, very sad point in my gaming, and I don't want to have to deal with that yet. So this gets it so I can power all the little satellite, as well as, yeah, okay. So again, the manufacturer, the blender, those are things that are going to have to be powered by the secondary power plant, which is going to be over here. Now the question is there any geysers over in that area? Nope, that was not what I meant to do. I wanted geysers. So yeah, I tapped into one of those. So there's another one there. Interesting. Interesting indeed. But none over here. See, that's where the problem is. I will have to run power from over here off of one of these geysers to this area here to have this be self-sufficient enough. That's unfortunate. There is an oil patch here. In theory, I could be... No, because it needs to be powered as well. And there's only a couple of geysers nearby, so we'll see how that has to go. But ultimately, This build has been a lot of fun. It's been difficult. I knew that having this pink set up the way it is would get me the fuel I needed. I'm really disappointed about the rocket fuel not causing the stuff for the jetpack to work better. Like, the jetpack's still garbage. But this just dumping mass amounts of stuff in here for coupons, like, this is a win in itself. And literally every single one of these is just pumping into here. It goes slowly up, doesn't need to take it all, and just speeds it all through. So we are getting to the point soon where I will need to actually start running these power generators, just so that I have ability to run these, because I've been running these quite a while without an outlet for all that fuel to go anywhere. And this down here was my last step that I built, mostly just because this was still more of a focus to make sure this whole system worked completely self-sufficiently, and it does. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video there. I want to thank you for spending some time with us here at OldCrewGaming. Please remember to hit that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of my progress, where you think I should take it if you agree with my thoughts, or whether you think I should take it in a completely different way. Maybe I'm missing something. Let me know. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, let's do so. We're hoping to hit 500 subs by the end of this year, and we can only do that with your help and feedback. So this has been Mad Mac. Be safe out there, gamers.